In our last video, Logan returned from hell, but he was still possessed by a group of demons. After fighting a war inside of his head from these demons, Logan finally managed to reclaim his body and drive them out. But even with that done, part of his mind was shattered, and the first thing that came back was revenge. Welcome to the Complete Story series. We typically break the story down, give you the meaty bits, add in some funny voices and epic music and sound effects. I hope you guys enjoy, and all alterations to the panel, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now, at the end of our last video, Wolverine vs. X-Men, Logan was finally able to put himself back together, and he set out to get the revenge that he needed against the Red Right Hand. But in order to find them, he needed to find the person who first betrayed him, Mystique. After tracking down some leads, he managed to find her, but she was already in a battle against the Red Hand's own assassin for betraying them. The three of them clashed, and Lord Deathstrike managed to wound Mystique so that she was unable to escape. With Lord Deathstrike's job done, all that was left was for Logan to kill Mystique, and with one pop of his claws, Mystique's body was left in the street while Logan continued his search for the Red Right Hand. With the information from Mystique and Maverick, Logan's search brought him to a home out in Mexico. He wastes no time ripping the door down and calling out that if nobody wants to die like dogs, they should come out and face him. As Logan walks through, a voice calls out telling him that everyone's right here waiting for him. They all have. Cannonfoot then says that they all got to draw straws to see who would go first, and Logan tells him, "You must have lost, huh, bub?" As Cannonfoot tells him actually he won, he drops a steel ball down on his foot and he throws it at Logan's head. Cannonfoot then says he's supposed to leave some of him for the others, but he's thinking that maybe he'll just kill him right now. He grabs Logan and he throws him into a wall. All the while, the Red Right Hand watches. Some of the members state that this is actually pretty brutal, but the leader tells everyone that they can't look away. They need to remember why they're doing this. The leader, as a young boy, grew up watching his father taking charge of any situation. No matter who it was, he never once lied, and he always beat down anyone who deserved it. Though he was a fair and honest man, he did run into trouble when his workers down in the coal mine went on strike and began to organize a union. The boy's father dealt with the unruly workers, and then they brought in a man, a negotiator of sorts. And that was the day that the boy saw something in his father that he had never seen before. Fear. Fear destroyed the boy's father, and just as he hit rock bottom, the negotiator came and killed him. The boy watched as the negotiator murdered his own father, and then he told the boy that he knows that someday he'll want to try and kill him, but don't. Just move on with his life. The boy didn't. He grew up building back up his father's legacy, and once he managed to put everything back into place, he hunted down that negotiator. The man's name was James Howlett, and now the young man shot and killed James while he was drunk and stumbling in the streets. Except, James didn't die. The young man woke up the next morning bloodied and bruised, and then he put everything in his life on hold to kill James Howlett. Over and over again he tried, each time failing, and that's when he realized that he may be doing this all wrong. He sought out the help of others who had been wronged by James Howlett, and in the current time, the leader, now an old man, watches as Cannonfoot screams in pain, and Logan asks Cannonfoot, "What are they gonna call you now without a foot?" Logan then turns back to the cameras watching him and he asks, "Who else do you have?" Suddenly, Logan is cracked across the head, and a woman calling herself the Shadow Stalker tells him that his blood tastes so sweet that she might freeze it and make popsicles out of it. With a pop of his claws, Logan charges back in, telling her, "You could lick these." Shadow kicks Logan before he can get to her, and then whips the spiked flails in her hair, slicing through Logan's neck. He gets back up, blood pouring all over it, and Shadow presses herself against him, stating that she thought his claws would be much bigger. After smacking him one more time, Shadow leans in, stating that she just wants one kiss to give him a bit of pleasure amidst the suffering. Logan leans in, biting away the side of her face, and she pushes him back. And as she does, she notices that Logan has ripped the flails out of her hair, and then kicks him back through a door. He gets up and he looks around, seeing that he's in some sort of museum. All of things that belong to him or involved him. Shadow walks through telling him that she hates to break it to him, but she's had better than him, and she charges back in. It doesn't take long as the Red Right Hand watches as Logan kills Shadow and destroys everything that belonged to him. He steps out of the hole shouting, "If you're still here, I'm coming for you." Logan continues to make his way through the home until he steps into a room with two others. He tells them to walk away, they don't have to do this, but the man begins to speak in Spanish, and the girl asks if he knew that everyone that she's met in her entire life all hated him. He must be like the worst person. The young man readies the saw blades on his fists, and the girl takes out knives, stating that her name is Fire Knives, so he can guess that he's called Sawfist. The two rush into attack, and Logan manages to deflect the first few, but soon the two strike, stabbing at him. Fire then turns to the camera stating, "He's screaming, right? Is that good or should there be more screaming?" Logan pushes Saw back as fire jumps and stabs into him. And just as Saw moves into attack, Logan breaks the saw and throws fire off of him. He pulls the burning blade out of his back and he cuts through it. He then tells Fire and Saw to just walk away. Fire looks up, stating that if there's a time to say over my dead body, this would totally be that time. The two stab their weapons into each other, and Logan continues on. Back with the red right hand, one of the men shouts that this isn't enough. He needs to suffer like they did. He has to know why! But as the man makes his way through the crowd, the leader tells him that he knows the rules, and then the man is shot in the head. The leader tells everyone that they need to stick to the plan. Let them all remember that. Everyone turns to the camera and sees Logan, and he tells them, who dies next? The leader turns to Gunhawk and he tells him, it's up to you now. Hopefully you'll fare better than the dearly departed. Gunhawk pushes open the doors to see Logan standing in the hallway, and Logan tells him that his friends talked a big game, but that didn't keep them from dying. So what about you? Gunhawk looks at him without saying a word, draws his guns, and he begins to fire. Logan walks through the shots, and as he gets closer, he slashes away at one of Gunhawk's arms. Though Gunhawk manages to get a hit in, Logan rushes forward, stabbing into him and throwing him to the ground. Logan asks, they should be right through that door, right? And as he spits up blood, Gunhawk tells him, yeah, you really shouldn't go through it though. Logan looks down, telling him that if there's more like him on the other side, he'll take his chances. Their plan to kill him hasn't exactly worked out yet. Gunhawk struggles, telling him that that's where he's wrong. The plan was never to kill. And inside the room, the leader tells everyone that everything is set. It's time for them to welcome their guest of honor. Back outside, Gunhawk says the plan was only to make him hurt. What's behind the door is a whole lot of that. Before pushing open the door, Logan asks, do I know you or something? And Gunhawk tells him no. You don't know me at all. And then he draws his final breath. Logan pushes open the doors and he says, yeah, a whole lot of hurt is here, and it's coming in right now. Inside, the crowd toasts, to revenge! And they all begin to drink, one by one. They then begin to fall, dying from the poison that they just drank. The leader says they will all die well with victory in their hearts, to die with a smile. But before drinking his glass, the leader notices that one of them is not drinking, and he asks, why are you waiting? The young boy says that he wants to see his face when he realizes what they've done. The leader places his hand on the boy's shoulder and he tells him that he understands. But now is not the time for regret. Now is the time for us to rejoice. He then takes his drink and he falls over. Just then, Logan bursts into the room and he sees everyone dead. He walks through and he says, it's a damn shame. Hope they all enjoy hell as much as I did. And then the monitor turns on and the leader says, welcome, Mr. Howlett. If you're seeing this, that means that we are all dead. I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of unanswered questions and why we went to such lengths to make you suffer. Though I regret that I will not be able to tell you face to face, we thought that it would be best to deprive you of the joy of actually killing us. The answers of who we are rest inside of the book that we left behind. And inside it are all of the faces of the people who are precious to us. Fathers, mothers, wives, sons, daughters. We felt that they needed to seek out revenge for the things that you've done, which is why we sent you to hell and attacked those close to you. However, our mission isn't done. In order to get there, we had to kill 5 people. Those 5 are known as the mongrels, and there are also files about them that you may find interesting. Logan begins to open up the folder and he begins to read, and the leader goes on stating, we spent years studying you, some our entire lives, and during that time, we found things that even you may not know. We know everywhere that you've been and everything that you've left behind. Logan tells him, this can't be true. And the leader continues to state, we've searched the globe for these 5. We trained them and we knew that they could never win. In fact, we wanted them to lose, to die specifically by your hand. And why would they do that? Because they were his children. He then finally tells Logan that now, finally he is like them. So let him welcome James Howlett to the red right hand. The screen shuts off and Logan drops the book, and the young boy looks up laughing, seeing the look on Logan's face as he falls over from the poison. Slowly, all of the members of the red right hand begin to wake up in the burning fires of hell, and the leader sees his father and he hugs him, telling him that he finally did it. Everyone starts running to their loved ones, and the young boy stands there calling to his mother, but the mother never comes. The story of Wolverine in hell and his revenge is still ongoing, so if you want to know what happens next, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to check out the entire playlist of Wolverine videos, Old Man Logan at X23. And I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. We can chat about things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next week right here.